Every time you divide your day into 60 seconds or 60 minutes, you are running a piece of software that was coded 5,000 years ago. The Sumerians engineered this entire logic while living in settlements built from nothing but mud and swamp reeds on the Mesopotamian floodplains. These were the architects of the world's first cities. In these river valleys, civilization was a calculated response to a lethal environment, an engineered way to outlive the river. 4,500 years before the Common Era, human life mostly consisted of small, scattered farming villages, each operating in near total isolation. Between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the heat is blistering, natural resources are non-existent, and there is no stone or metal to build with. Every spring, melting mountain snow triggers violent, unpredictable floods that can swallow entire settlements overnight. Attempting to survive here alone meant choosing between starvation during the dry season or drowning when the river breached Encks. To outmaneuver this specific geography, these early farmers were forced to coordinate their labor on an unprecedented scale. Draining the deadly marshes and bringing water to the sun-baked soil required thousands of people working as a single, synchronized unit. They redirected the river into sprawling networks of canals and dikes, manually turning a swamp into a massive agricultural engine. Mastering the water supply created a massive, reliable food surplus that the valley had never seen before. That surplus triggered a population explosion, pulling scattered tribes together into highly concentrated urban hubs. This was the crisis of scale, the moment when settlements ballooned into metropolises like Uruk, housing 50,000 people in a single walled center. These excavated foundations revealed the sheer physical density required to keep that many people alive. Solving the threat of the river had created the problem of the city. Managing 50,000 people created a new logistical nightmare. Biological memory is too fragile to track rations, tax payments, and trade deals for an entire city. Their earliest solution was a physical counting system, using small clay tokens to represent livestock and grain. Eventually, administrators realized they could simply press the tokens into wet clay to leave a permanent abstract mark, eliminating the need for the objects themselves. This evolution gave birth to cuneiform, the earliest writing system on Earth. Look at the rigid grid sections on this early pictographic tablet. It was built as a strict financial ledger, a way to outsource the city's memory onto an external hard drive. Writing allowed the Sumerians to store data across generations, providing the permanence that a growing civilization required. But an external memory didn't stop the social friction. Dense urban living creates constant disputes, property conflicts, and the threat of internal collapse. To manage the workload, they developed a base 60 mathematics system, explicitly used to calculate crop yields and divide the day into labor shifts. They codified the first statutory laws, applying systematic rules to settle civic disputes and property claims. To enforce these systems, a new class of leaders emerged, wielding the unquestionable authority seen in this stone statue of Gudea. These rulers commanded from atop massive ziggurats, claiming to speak for the terrifying gods who controlled the floods. By synchronizing labor, law, and belief, the Sumerians turned a chaotic mass of strangers into the first functioning, organized society. Despite engineering the framework of history, Sumerian political dominance eventually faded. Their cities were conquered and absorbed by the Akkadians and Babylonians. Their language died out completely, and their magnificent mud brick cities literally melted back into the blowing sands of the desert earth. The Sumerians were erased from memory until the 19th century, when scholars began deciphering inscriptions like these to recover a lost script. By finally cracking the cuneiform code, we rediscovered the forgotten creators of the world's first cities. While the Sumerian people were lost, the societal operating system they built survived and was inherited by every empire that followed. Their innovations proved that human organization could master a hostile natural environment. The modern world of steel and glass operates on the same logic of mass coordination that the Sumerians pioneered in the mud. The Sumerians solved the crisis of scale, providing the foundational structure that every subsequent society would use to organize human life.